or see us on the web, 5starsoap.com. 5 the number or 5 the letter, makes no difference. We'll send you a free catalog, give you all this information, we have a special on our 1 month supply that'll last a family of 4, anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, of the 4 basic soaps: bath soap, hair soap, dish soap, laundry soap, for you to use, and it's not for a day or a week, but for a month or two, and you get used to buying something and getting something that's 2 to 3 times better than what you're getting now.
Yeah, folks, I wouldn't steer you wrong. Take the challenge. Call and purchase the sampler tote bag. Tell them how much it is and how they get it.
$20, a phone call. We ship it by United Parcel. The cost depends on your zip code, because we don't know where you are.
Sure, we understand. So tell folks the number.
1-800-340-7091. We got a whole family waiting here for your call. Where are you? We're talking about satisfaction guaranteed or double your dirt back.
And the website is 5starsoap.com. The number one more time, Marty.
800-340-7091. We're here for you. We'll help you. We'll encourage you. We'll clean you. And this is called bailout to you. We're going to bail you out from the junk science you're getting now. We're going to give you acid relief program.
Marty,
a financial rescue plan.
Marty,
these are stimulus packages.
Give us a limerick. Marty, give me a limerick.
I'm ready. He hated to sew. So young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor instead. But her husband said, "Vi, when you stitched his torn fly, there was no need to bite off the thread."
Amazing, my friend. Well, I want to get you back up instead of every 2 months. I want to get you back up next week, because it's been a while, to specifically compare the ingredients in your products, specifically as you've done years ago on the show, to what is in detergent and other chemicals. So let's do that next week. Marty, we'll talk to you soon.
Look forward to it, and I'm very excited, and I very, very much appreciate your endorsing.
We appreciate you. Well, why wouldn't I endorse it? Literally, the sales manager at Genesis like 5 years ago sends me a year's supply free from Marty. And I just forget about it. I'm not dealing with soap. My wife's already buying organic stuff, mainly at the store. She's like, "What is this?" a year later when it ran out. I want more of this. And I went, "Yeah, it does smell good." And then I found out about it and went and got Marty as a sponsor myself. So that's how that happened. I want to get back into Barack Obama here before we have guests in studio next hour. But before I do that, I was noticing here in front of me, I hadn't seen this article yet. CFR boss Richard Haass on Colbert. Now, earlier in the hour, I was talking about how he said in the article that they wrote, that Paul Watson wrote a story about last year and linked to, where he said, we're going to use the war to save the earth as a way to make humans the enemy so the state can organize and control people, and terror, fake terror. And I saw him at Bilderberg. He came out mad when I was bullhorning him earlier last year. And here he is on Colbert. And understand, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I would say the CFR, globalists, here's their documents. They want to set up world government. They're using globalism to bankrupt the U.S. They're going to implode the economy through a banking crisis and bring in a world regulatory banking system, which is now being announced and in the news, not because I'm smart, because I read what they said they do. But that wasn't on the news. And Limbaugh would get on air and say it doesn't exist, and the CFR doesn't even exist. Now they're suddenly all over TV pushing their agenda, because by acting secret, we were able to expose them. Now they're trying to counter. They know by remaining silent, we really exposed them. And listen to the Colbert Nation. Richard Haass believes this century has the potential for America to cooperate with other countries to make the world safer, says Colbert Nation. Richard N. Haass is president of the Council on Foreign Relations, a position he has held since July 2003. That's in the News in Focus section of Infowars.com. Guys, the headline is CFR boss Richard N. Haass on Colbert. It's a video of it. I don't have that on my computer over here where I can play it, because people are still out there saying CFR doesn't exist right now listening because they hear Limbaugh say it all those years and they can't believe he'd lie to them. It's incredible. And then they go in and basically push world government, just like when they had Vicente Fox on that show, and he said, yeah, we're in North American Union. People said, oh, that's just a joke. Then he said it on Larry King Live. Then he said it to We Are Change cameras, and it's in our film Truth Rising. You know what? Just go back to Obama. It's up on Infowars and Prison Planet. If people want to watch it, they can. I'll play it tomorrow if I have time. Are our guests here yet? Because I know they're going to be in studio the last hour, and they even put out a press release about it, so they're probably banging on the door or something. Okay, let's go back to we're now going to go back to analyzing Barack Obama that we did in the first hour and a half. So here we go.
Know that you are on the wrong side of history, but that we will extend a hand if you are willing to unclench your fist.
That means to Iran and everybody else, do exactly what the UN says. Let the world government run all your countries, rogue nations, i.e. nations that are under their control, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. We're not saying what these countries are. We're not judging them as the good guys and the globalists the bad guys. They're all pretty much bad guys. The point here is that, you do what we say, and then we'll rule you, or you're going to get it.
To the people of poor nations, we pledge to work alongside you to make your farms flourish and let clean waters flow.
Yeah, that means force in genetically modified foods that the IMF and World Bank and United Nations, World Health Organization, the forced sterilizations, the inoculations, the villagers all over Asia, Africa, Latin America run when the UN trucks come with shots. They pay the local governments to hold them at machine gun point and inject them. The women that have babies spontaneously abort. It's all on record, mainstream news. That's the help that's coming with the food to the third world. We have State Department Memorandum 200. We have the Club of Rome documents. We have the Royal Commission on Population, where the governments of the world admit they're really exterminating these third world populations.
To nourish starved bodies and feed hungry minds. And to those nations like ours that enjoy relative plenty, we say we can no longer afford indifference to the suffering outside our borders.
Now, what that means is doubling and tripling UNICEF and the UN, IMF, and World Bank funding, so more of our tax money going to carry out the eugenics operations in the name of saving the children.
Nor can we consume the world's resources without regard to effect. For the world has changed, and we must change with it.
Yeah, the bankers are bringing in the world government. It has changed, and we must change with it. We've got to be futuristic. We've got to do what they say.
As we consider the road that unfolds before us, we will remember with humble gratitude.
The world that unfolds. These guys have engineered the hellhole we're going into. But it's like, oh, it's unfolding. We got to go into the future.
Those brave Americans who, at this very hour, patrol far-off deserts and distant mountains.
See, so he ties looking to the future, being optimistic with the troops in all these evil wars. Again, we're not even attacking those individual troops. It's that these wars are evil. 3 million dead Iraqis, 1.5 million just since the 5.5-year occupation, 1.5 million before that, in the siege known as the sanctions.
Mountains. They have something to tell us, just as the fallen heroes who lie in Arlington whisper through the ages.
See, now, if you're not for Obama, you're against those that lie in Arlington, all those little white crosses, all those tombstones, all those stars of David, all those crescents, all those dead Americans. They're out there in Arlington, and you get with my agenda or you're against them. You get with the troops fighting overseas or you're against the dead who supposedly fought for liberty and freedom, but they've set up a tyranny in Iraq.
We honor them not only because they are the guardians of our liberty, but because
the guardians of our liberty. They're announcing they're going to use the U.S. military against the American people to suppress the population while the government does everything that's diametrically opposed to the people's will, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence.
They embody the spirit of service, a willingness.
Now we're getting into the spirit of service. Get everybody hyped up. Talk about soup kitchens. Then bait and switch with forced domestic military force. Because little yuppies don't want to go out fight overseas. They'll be suppressing you. All the Eddie Haskells, all the control freaks, all the know-it-alls running your life on every corner. Little secret police commissar pimps. They're openly setting it up.
Have you ever wanted to generate your own supply of electrical power? If so, this is going to be the most important message you will ever hear. Solar-powered generators are now available from Solutions from Science, one of GCN's oldest and most trusted sponsors. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. Unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no fumes, and produces electricity for free. It's like having an electric power plant running quietly in your own home. Run sump pumps, shortwave radios, computers, and even keep food from spoiling. Whether it's hurricanes, ice storms, brownouts, or blackouts, you'll never have to suffer through painful power outages again. When the power goes out, you'll be ready with a solar-powered generator from Solutions from Science. Go to mysolarbackup.com and get off the grid today. That's mysolarbackup.com today. Or call 877-327-0365. 877-327-0365. Don't wait. Call today.
A day unlike any other in the long course.